Hey folks, welcome back to episode 17 of Omnifactory. And last time we got these cryogenic air distillation towers set up. These have been running quite nicely. We've still been building up some aluminum and signalum. And yeah, today I want to start ore processing. We upgraded our conduits as well last time. So I think we should have everything we need. So I was doing a bit of thinking about how I want to plan this out. And obviously we're going to lay it out over this way. And we're going to be doing processing at IV tier. I've decided just to use these nano processor assemblies, the second tier 5s, rather than trying to get the third tier 5 circuit. I very much doubt we're going to have all the materials we need to completely build this out the way I want it. So I'm going to build it in a way that's very easy to expand. And we'll just start with the minimum we need to start processing. So that as more materials become available, when we start processing things, just a matter of adding machines and all the infrastructure will be there. So hopefully we can get that done today. So we're going to need some macerators. I'm going to start off with 8 of these. Again, if we look at this, it's quite the investment at the moment anyway. It's going to take 16 processors. These electric motors and pistons are quite expensive. They all take tungsten steel. This is 16x annealed copper wire. And neodymium, we have quite a bit of that. I actually added a blast furnace for neodymium. So I have a couple of stacks of ingots of that, which should be enough, should last. And then tungsten cable, that's quite expensive as well. Also 66 boards, that's quite a bit. Anyway, yeah, let's just start the crafts here. And machines are going to be tied up for quite a while. But yeah, that's the macerators. We'll also need some washers at IV. I'm going to start off with 16 of these. We're just missing small coils. Okay, I need a recipe for small coils. Okay, let's try that again. So 16 of these. Oh yeah, these are really expensive. 64 aluminum, 512 annealed copper wire. Actually, how much copper wire am I currently buffering? I'm down to 1500. Yeah, I'm gonna instantly increase the threshold on this because we're gonna need a lot of this copper wire. Let's put it up to 6000. Yes, we'll just hit start on that as well. Let's see what else do we need. Molecular cyclones is what they're called at IV. I like the name. And we're going to have 8 of these. Let's see how the craft's doing actually. Nothing seems to be stuck. It's just a little bit slow at the moment anyway. Yeah, it looks like the cutting machines are doing a lot of work here. Let's see, is there anything else we can prep while we wait on this? Probably not. There's a lot of things to be processed. I'll come back when this is done. Oh boy, this is slow. Look how slow this is going. And there is 120 more. And we still have another few machines to get. To transfer items using this ore processing, I want to use laser relays. However, these require obsidian, which we are producing here very slowly. However, it's all been burned in this alloy smelter with steel to make dark steel, so I need a solution for obsidian. There is another recipe for obsidian. We can use the igneous extruder now that we have access to this, but I don't remember if it requires lava to run. Let's just build one and find out, because if so I can hook it up right there. I know that some recipes with this don't use the fluid and some of it does. So yeah, let's find out what happens with this lava recipe. I don't exactly remember. Alright, since this requires RF, I'm just going to temporarily place it here. And then I'll fill it with lava. Okay, this is now running, and it looks like it's definitely consuming the lava. Let's put some upgrade kits on this, just so it's a bit faster. And we don't need a ton of obsidian, we just need a little bit, since we're not starting with that many machines. I just don't want to wait on that thing and try and snipe it from a dark steel. So that's that. Another thing we need is a CEFs at IV tier. I encoded the recipe here, so I'm going to make 4 of those. These are also, yeah, 96 aluminum. That is crazy. And actually, we're going to need IV cable as well. What is the IV cable? The lossless IV cable. It is aluminum as well, so we're going to need some aluminum cable. We're down to 350 aluminum. So let's see how much cable are we going to need. So it'll be, let's start with 24. 192 aluminum. Let's actually just start with 20. Because I'm doing this in 64. I probably shouldn't have encoded this recipe in batches of 64. You know what, we'll hang off on the cable. I'm trying to be as frugal as possible here just because our blast furnaces and things like that isn't exactly up to par. And for the time being, I'm going to turn off this alloy smelter, just so it doesn't yoink all the obsidian out of my system. So to turn these from energy to the ones we want, we can turn them into fluid relays and also item relays, which is the one we want. We have to atomically reconstruct them. So I just built another one here. It saves me messing about with that one. Alright, all the materials I've now finished, I think, or at least the ones we're going to start with. So let's just start placing blocks and see how this goes. I've extended ME and power over here. So I think we'll start in this square here, and I have just the one CEF for the moment, so let's give this power. And I think I'm going to be extending up rather than horizontally. So I think I'll do one power cable up the middle, and I think I'll do one square per machine, and we'll just pass the items between the squares, and then eventually feed like wherever they need to go. So the first step for the ores is going to be inside pulverizers. So we'll power these. And then we're going to use ME interfaces to supply the items. One obviously won't be enough, so I'll probably line those up next to the CEF, and this is going to be for input. And then those are going to go into an item interface, I think just via conduit, so it'll be mirrored on both sides. We'll have like 4 interfaces, we'll just add to it as we need it. And then from the item interface it's going to go into a laser. And then the way I'm going to set up these lasers is I'm going to have one here and one on the opposite side. And these lasers will push into all adjacent inventories. So it will push to this one as well as this one. And this one will give it to this macerator and also this macerator. So we have to link these with using the laser wrench. Like so. So now they all have power, they all have input. We need a way of outputting the items as well. So for that we'll use item conduits. And we can disconnect this. We'll use item conduits for the outputs, and then these are going to be distributed to the next machines, which are going to be ore washers. However, not everything is just going to go straight into an ore wash. We have to filter this somehow. So I'm going to use GregTech chests for that. There, so we're going to input into the chest. So once we have our ore dictionary filters, we're going to put one on the side and on the top. Basically we need to have filtered this twice. One for crushed, which is going to go to the washers, and not crushed is going to go to packagers. Or is it all going to end up as tiny dusts? Maybe there's small dusts that can come out of this. If we look at like just iron ore, we're going to pulverize this, and then we're going to get stone dust, nickel dust, and crushed. The crushed we want to wash, and then the nickel and stone we want to store. But this, I don't think it's going to be the case for every single ore. Yeah, you know what, I think the easiest way to do this is going to be just to put it straight into the ME system, and then we'll output from the ME system and process later, like elsewhere, rather than trying to route conduits everywhere. You just easily input into an interface. So on this filler we want crushed star on blacklist, and then we want crushed star on whitelist on this side. Like that. And then this is going to go into the next interface. Here. And we'll need to have conveyors on here as well. I think we'll need to put the conveyors first. Yeah. Conveyors first, and then the filters on the conveyors. And then we'll start our next row of machines here. IVCEF. And this one's going to be for the washers. So we're going to have the same vertical setup here. Except this time it needs water as well. So alright, so these machines are slower. I don't know if this ratio is going to be sufficient or not. But yeah, let's just try it and find out. And I think just to keep it consistent, I'll probably move this CEF to the other side as well. Let's just do that, just to make it a bit cleaner, like that. And then we can have the inputs flowing this way. And we can even move this interface to the center. So then for these are going to have the lasers the same again. I want to have them like the same orientation, so it's here and here. Yeah, and that will be all the way up. Again, this laser will provide for these 2 machines, and then this one will provide for these 2 machines. And then we can have item conduit output, and we'll also need fluid input. And luckily these can share block spaces as well. So we'll do something like that. Then we'll need a laser on the interface to output from the interface, as the conveyor will pull from the chest into the interface, and then the laser will pull from the interface into these lasers. So we have to connect these up, and I believe it can go through blocks like this. And our CEF finished as well, so we can hook power up here. Now these should all be powered. Top ones aren't, but I think that's just because we are really short on power. I don't think we'll be able to run this 100%. This is definitely going to eat through our power supply. Yeah, you can see these are charging one at a time, like very slowly. Wait, these are definitely 16x CEFs, aren't they? Yeah, they are. It's just that power production is insufficient. Actually, before we hook this up and fill our ME system with possibly junk for not setting the filters right, let's disconnect that for now. And let's just test with some sort of ore that we have. Just the setup we have right now. Let's put through some redstone ore. We can put it in this one. Hide that from the interface terminal and hook this up. This will put redstone into this interface, and then we have to extract here. And it looks like they're not receiving quite enough power. Let's disable overclock, like so. And then this chest should be filling up with crushed redstone ore, sending it to these washers. And we have to give this liquid, so let's put the aqueous accumulator down. Can use a very handy conduit probe to copy all our probe settings. And done. So chest into interface. Into the next group of machines. Actually, this is the step where we have to filter twice. For this filtering, by the way, I'm following a really useful guide. Part of the Omnifactory Discord for ore processing. At this stage, take out bauxite, galena and sphalerite, and then everything else has to be processed. So I think the easiest way to do that is to split this 3 ways instead of 2. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, at this point we have to filter it twice. So this chest will be the input from the output of all these laundry washers. And then at this point we want to say the purified dusts go to the left. Let's add that first. So this one's going to be crushed, purified, star, whitelist. This one is going to be the same on blacklist. And then this chest, we want to separate out the galena, the sphalerite and the bauxite. So we can put in an item filter on whitelist. And we want purified sphalerite, bauxite and galena ore on whitelist here. And the same thing here on blacklist. Okay, I think I've set all the filters now. I mean, there's only one way to really test this, and let's just let loose all the items. So this will still start filling. That's what we want. Did anything make it into these? All the tiny dust, yes, this is what we want. Alright, so the next step is going to be for the cyclones. Wait a minute, no. We need to put it in more blendomatics. More macerators, except this time there's going to be even more things to pulverize, so I'm going to use 8 here. And again, I don't exactly know about the ratios, but since this ore washing step explodes the ore into so many different ores, or you know what I mean, so many different dusts, you get so much per input. We're going to need more processing on like the further down we go. So we'll put our laser here like usual, and then laser into the machines. Makes actually more sense to move the interfaces to the top here, so that's what I've done here. So this time, coming out of the Cyclones, or no, the blendomatics, the second macerating step, this is going to be dust pure blacklist. It's going to, wait, that needs wildcard. There, so dust pure blacklist is going to go up to the ME interface, and dust pure whitelist is going to go to the next step, which should be the last step other than the packagers, but we can handle that elsewhere. So dust pure, right? Yeah, dust pure is going to go into the next line of machines. It's going to be here, and this will be our cyclones. So I'll order another 2 CEFs. It looks like we have everything for this. It's just the thing I don't think we're going to have right now is the power, oddly enough. So we'll have to definitely upgrade some more of our dynamos. In fact, how much signalum are we currently at? 442. That should be enough to upgrade pretty much all of them. I'll just have to work out the maths for the shulker models and see if we have to add any more of those. So I'm going to go ahead and finish setting all this up. It's more or less just the same, just connecting all the conduits, things like that. Okay, I got everything hooked up here. I've just enabled the output on these blendomatics, the second ones. Looks like everything's working decent. And I should explain also the reason why we're taking out galena, sphalerite and bauxite here is to process them separately. We don't want to send them on to these macerators. We need specifically these purified versions, and the bauxite that's because we're going to put it into a thermal centrifuge, because we want centrifuge bauxite in order to get gallium. And sphalerite and galena, this is for this process here to make indium concentrate, which we're going to set up probably next. Yeah, we'll need this fairly soon in order to get indium for indium gallium phosphide. So yeah, for now that'll just go into the ME system, but we don't want to process that any further. Well, we don't want to send it any further down this line anyway. So let's just double check the filters on these. Dust pure blacklist, dust pure whitelist. Yep, so we can turn this one on. That'll fill this chest, which should go into these ones, give us tiny pile of rare earth and redstone dust. And then I have to configure these conduits, so output brown. And yeah, as you can see, we're not getting enough power here, so let's turn off overclocking for now. So much clicking. I wish there was like a conduit probe type machine for Greg Tech blocks. That would be nice. Yeah, so this rare earth that we're getting from redstone, we definitely want this. This is very useful for things like neodymium, yttrium as well. We're going to need a lot of this for nuclear, I think. Yeah, yttrium, barium, cuprate. We need this, I know, for the ingots in order to get, I don't know, it's one of these things. And I haven't decided yet whether I want to set up centrifuges in this area or just have it like somewhere else. I've actually already set up a centrifuge somewhere. Ah, yeah, this is it here. I've set up a centrifuge here for rare earths. I don't know if I showed this or not. So I just have a interface supplying rare earth here, and that's going into this centrifuge. The outputs here, we get small piles, so we send it into a packager to pack it into regular dusts for all these materials. So I'll probably just keep this here. This will probably be sufficient. This is a HV centrifuge, and then all those materials just get sent back into the interface. But yeah, this is working really well. Let's add actually a separate ore to our thing, since I think finished with all the redstone. So let's add some salt ore, because we're really missing some chlorine. All we have to do to add things is just add it to the interface, and this will distribute it. Well, it'll all go into one machine, but I don't know if there's much we can really do about that. And all this stone dust, by the way, is going to go into a drawer I've got over here for stone dust. I set this up ages ago. We have currently 35,000, and there's not really much use for stone dust other than making, I don't know, maybe drilling fluid or concrete. But yeah, this thing is, stone dust is so plentiful that I'm just basically going to send it into this drawer and void it. I believe the storage bus on this is set to high priority. So all the stone dust we just put into the interface over there will go in here and not clog up the drives. Yeah, you can see this this first chest here is already full with redstone. I only put in, I don't remember how much redstone we had to begin with, but this has been running a couple of minutes already, maybe 8 or 9 minutes, and it's still got all of this to backlog to process. I'm also going to add these things that were in my ME system. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, this really is not fast at all. This is so slow with the current power. I wonder if the upgrade kits have finished, actually. Yes, they have finished. Let me actually just count how many we can upgrade safely here. Yeah, we can safely upgrade more of these dynamos. I think we can go up to 18. And we're at 20 dynamos here. At Signalum tier, I mean. So I have 8 upgrade kits. I don't think I can make much more because of aluminum cost. But let's add these kits at least. Alright, let's see how much power they're using now. Still max? Surely it's just filling conduit buffers. I hope so. I hope we're not that much of a drain on the power right now. Conduit storage is going up, which is a good sign. So I think it is just filling buffers when it's using all this power. But yeah, I'm going to do some probably tinkering with this, maybe change some things around. And then yeah, I'll come back when we're ready to make the next steps. Uh-oh, mistakes were made here. I have filled this chest and I have to move it. So basically what I'm trying to do here is package all the tiny dusts into regular dusts. And I realised that if I do it this way, I'm creating a race condition where the tiny dust can still end up in this interface. Because we're filtering this one as crushed purified blacklist, but this side is crushed dust tiny, so that's still valid for both sides of this. And so what I need to do is put crushed purified blacklist this side and then buffer it twice. So hopefully no crash. And I'm just going to put it in the ME system just for now. Just to get it out of my inventory. I know there was a lot of stuff there. So let's change this to... Wait, what was it again? Crushed purified black star. And we'll take off the top one here. Then we'll remove this, and then do it twice more. And yeah, we'll blacklist dust tiny star and whitelist it this side. Then we can add our EVCEF, power that, put down our EV packager. I believe this is one a tick as well, so, and then we're going to need a robot arm on this side, and we can set this to supply exact 63, which is obviously a multiple of 9, so this won't get jammed when we put in the dust tiny. Wait, this should be on blacklist. Yeah, now it's filling up. Yeah, this is what we want. That's going to allow that to fill up. And then we want to put the interface on top of this one. And this is what will be sent back to the ME system. Actually, we can't do this. Because this item laser relay will... Yeah, if we put an interface there, the item laser relay can push into that interface. So that's something we have to be careful of. And I guess we can rotate the chest and then put the conveyor module on this side. Yeah, let's do that. Let's remove this cover. Put it on this side. Then we'll put our interface here instead. Yeah, there we go. I think that's what we want. And then we'll have to do this one more time on this side. Except there'll be one less chest since we're not filtering out galena or anything. Okay, so I've been watching this a bit. I hooked up a packager on this side as well for the tiny dusts. And I'm reasonably confident after clearing up that little mishap with the item laser here, putting the things into the interface, that all the filters are set correctly. So I think I'm confident enough. I mean, I don't sound it, but yeah, let's just connect everything to the ME system, because once we do this, the things are going to fill up with dusts, and if it's the wrong thing, it's going to be such a pain to try and resort it manually. But I think everything's the way we want it. This is going to fill up with sphelerite and galena, and what's the other one? Bauxite, and we'll put those in a thermal centrifuge later on. But let's just hook this up and see what happens. So that should start emptying all the stone dust. Let's just double check it is actually going in this drawer as well. So 38. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is what we want. And the stone dust will be voided. The biggest thing is I don't want the stone dust filling our drives. So that's one hooked up. This is just all dust regular. This is like the chance output stuff from the first Blendomatics. So we can hook this up. Yep. And we're left with just crushed, which is what we want. The next line is more dust regulars. So this can go in. And again, the rare earths will be centrifuged as well. So I think that's good to go. So now this should start getting all the rare earths. Okay, that, yeah, just it took a second, but yeah, it's working. This is packing it all. Very nice. And then the last line here is our outputs. So redstone, well, redstone's the only thing that's got this far. And then tiny dusts become regular dusts, which get put into here. And I think we can hook this up. That will fill redstone in our system. So now if we look for tiny dust, we shouldn't see anything other than what was already there. Oh yeah, that all of that cinnabar has to be... I have to empty that out manually. It feels really nice having all this set up now. So now once we want to expand this, we just add more machines and more lasers. But that won't be for a while till we can power all this. But at least it'll get it going, and it's automatic now. Alright, so this system has now been running for a couple of hours. It's now the next morning here actually, and I added these thermal centrifuges for the bauxite. So this takes in the purified bauxite, which is filtered out at this stage. It goes into the ME system. That's just filtered out here, inputted into these thermal centrifuges. It gives us tiny rutile as well, so I just package that here. And then after that, it gets sent back in here. Wait, this is a blacklist for tiny rutile. The bauxite gets sent back in here, where it rejoins this system at this stage here. So here we get centrifuge bauxite, and that's just being exported straight into this item interface. And this will be pulverized again to give us the bauxite dust and gallium dust. So we have like probably more gallium than we actually need now for probably the rest of the pack. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, this gallium goes a long way. I've added a few more ores to the inputs as well. Niobium, we're going to need that quite soon. Nether quartz, tungstate, bauxite, nickel. And I've also upgraded all of our dynamos now to signalum tier. And because of that, I added a few more shulkers. So I think we're up to 21 shulkers now. And yeah, our power output is it's max just now because I just literally just upgraded them, and I just turned overclocking off on some of those machines. I'll probably have to turn it back on though to do anything else. But yeah, we do have these are sitting at about 8,000 RF a tick each with the overclocks off on those. But either way, we're gonna have to address power next episode at least. And for that, I'm thinking we get into NuclearCraft, which is over here in the mid-game section. It's one of the last quest areas. So to unlock that, we need yttrium barium cuprate and hard carbon alloy to get the plating, to get the reactor. So I think next time we're going to look into building our reactor. Now I don't know a whole lot about NuclearCraft fission, so I'm going to have to do some reading, some research. But I'm going to get something figured out for the start of next time. And then hopefully the plan is right now is to build multiple reactors. One of them is going to be for power, and one of them is going to be just to use the byproducts, as we're going to need things like californium and berkelium, things like that later on. I'll have to find out exactly what this fission entails, but yeah, I'm looking forward to starting that. So I think we'll finish off here for today, and come back next time for some NuclearCraft fission. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon.